Hi, and welcome to the Dyer Bear Yarns podcast. I'm Amanda, and this is my podcast about knitting and some crocheting, which I'm kind of planning to do coming up, and hand-dyed yarn. Welcome to my podcast. Thank you so much for watching. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for checking me out. I hope you really enjoy the podcast, and if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back, and I hope you enjoy this one as well. I have a Ravelry group for this podcast, the Dyer Bear Yarns podcast, and you can follow me on Instagram at Dyer Bear Yarns, and I am on Ravelry as Meadowy Ravine. You can check out all of my project pages there. I try to keep up to date on my project pages. I have all but one thing on there. So, as you can see, I am wearing a sweater. I finished my So Faded. The ends are woven in. It's not blocked. The only thing I have left to do is block it. I have all the ends woven in. There weren't too many ends, but you use a lot of different colors, so there were a decent amount of ends. They are all woven in. I love it. It's beautiful. I love the color. I love the colors I picked. I love the way they flow together. I'm so happy with it. It's rather warm though. I kept the sleeves short because the day I finished it, it was 80 degrees out. So I thought that if I kept the sleeve short, I would have a better chance of wearing it over the summer sometimes. It's still cool here in the summer. Like this weekend, it should be cooler. It should be in the 60s and 70s where I am, Fahrenheit. So I should be able to wear it, but for now it's a bit warm, even with the short sleeves. But I think it'll make it more wearable, and then in the fall, I will take off the bind off and knit down sleeves, probably either elbow length or 3/4 length. I love the look of sleeves that go all the way down, and I love them when they hit just about here and they're nice and cozy, but I push my sleeves up all the time. I don't like my forearms to be covered. So I'm not sure how long I'll make them. I kind of might see how I use it. But I am so happy with it. The pattern was awesome. It was a great pattern. It was very easy to follow. It was top down, so I tried it on as I went. I would put it on 2 needles. You can use waist yarn or 2 needles or like a really long cord. I didn't have a long enough cord to try it on as I went, so I just put it on 2 needles and I could try it on, and so I tried it on as I went to see what I wanted to do with it. I did incorporate some shaping. The pattern doesn't have any shaping, so I did a little bit of increases here and then some decreases here, and then I increased again right here, and I think just a couple stitches, like I think I calculated it out to be about 1 inch here and then decreased again, and then about 1.5 inches here, just to have some shaping, because you can see I need a little bit of shaping. I did make the ribbing a little bit longer. I added 1 inch of length to the ribbing, and those were really the only pattern modifications, and the shorter sleeves. Those were really the only pattern modifications I made. It was, aside from the fact where I misread the pattern and didn't do the increases the way she directed me to, and I kind of had to fudge them. Aside from that, I didn't really modify the pattern that much. I'm going to take it off now so that I can show you the yarns up close, so that I can talk about each one. So I'm now back in my t-shirt, my Terry Pratchett Discworld t-shirt. This is my very favorite t-shirt, and it's so cute with the turtle and the elephants. Terry Pratchett, I highly recommend it. I actually have some yarn dyed in inspiration by Terry Pratchett's books, and I might do some more later on, so you can check that out if you want. So, the sweater. I will show you the fade. I just love it so much. So this pinky purpley lavender is my own hand-dyed yarn. This is Suddenly Lilacs in a singles, my barefoot singles. So it's really soft and very fuzzy, and you don't always want to use singles in a sweater. Like, I probably wouldn't make a whole sweater out of a single ply yarn, but at the top it shouldn't pill too much. Like, if you have it underneath the arms, you might get a lot of pilling with a single, but at the top I don't think it should, and I will see how much it is. There's not a lot of it, so. And then it fades into Vine Volca, which is her cashmere base, in Coven, which is very nice purple tonal. I had some pooling on the front, which I actually kind of like, right here and across here. And then it fades into Moonstone Dye Works in Come On Over, which I just love this color. It has the dark blue and the pink speckles, and so I didn't, I picked colors for the fade that I liked together and I thought went well together, and I really didn't even realize how well they went together until I saw them knit up, because the speckles of pink go back to the first color just perfectly, so it really is very continuous, and then it has the speckles of dark blue which are picked up in the Knox Yarns. So this is Knox Yarns on her strong sock base. Actually, I don't remember. It's just her regular sock base. In Luna is the colorway. So this is the only one I'm not really sure about because in the skein, they looked pretty different. This looked a lot darker in the skein. So I thought there would be more of a, they fade together perfectly, but there's not as much of a distinction between them. I thought that would be more of this dark blue, but it's really pretty. And it has some dark blue speckles and some turquoise, and then this highlighter yellow, which is really fun. I really like those pops of it. And then there's kind of a little bit more yellowish overall, but they fade, like I had to mark where the fade was where the yarn transition was so that I could measure it because I can't see it just looking. I had to go back and like find where the yarn was. So they fade together perfectly, but maybe a little bit too perfectly, but I don't know. It worked out overall, I think. And then it fades into Tennis Fiber Arts, her MCN base, which is a slightly different MCN base. It has different proportions of nylon and cashmere, but they're both very soft. And this is Lotus, which I got from an Etsy update, so I'm not sure if it's a one-of-a-kind or if she dyes it, if it's in her regular shop. I don't think I've seen it in her shop regularly, but it's beautiful with these. It's got these turquoise blues and then olive greens, and this deep blue and almost grays. It's so soft. I really love this color. So each of these colors, I would make an entire sweater out of this. I think that'd be gorgeous. I would make an entire sweater out of every one of these colors. I thought of that as I was going along. It was kind of hard sometimes to fade because I was like, I just want to keep knitting with this color. I don't want to stop. But then I would start knitting with the other one, and I was like, oh, I would really want to knit with this color. So yes, that is my fade. I still have the stitch marker on from the last time I podcasted, which I intended to podcast before this, but I wanted to finish it. So there's where I was about a week and a half ago. So I knitted. This was right where I think I had just transitioned to the Knox Yarns. So I knitted all the way down and then did all of this. And this was, I kind of played around with the shaping here. And then I knitted 2 inches of ribbing on the border and tried it on and cat bound it off. Just a regular bind off and tried it on. And I'm like, this is too short. And I asked my husband, is this too short? And he's like, yeah, it's a little bit too short. And I asked my sister, is this too short? She's like, yeah, it's too short. So I was like, okay. So I undid the cast off, picked up all the, I unknit the cast off so I had all the stitches picked up, knit another inch. And then it actually kind of worked out because I did a stretchy bind off where I had just done a regular bind off before. This is apparently a Shetland lace bind off. I just Googled stretchy bind off and picked one that I liked. It's way better. I'm really actually glad that I did that. Because the regular bind off where you just kind of bind off one stitch at a time, you could definitely feel when you were putting the sweater on, I could feel like the limits of it. It was stretched to its limits, and this one, like it feels like the rest of the yarn. It was super easy to do. It was I just found a free tutorial, and you just knit 2 stitches and then you put your needle back in through it and knit those 2 stitches together through the back loop. So you have 1 stitch and then you purl the next stitch and then purl those stitches together, and go along. I have in my Ravelry page, I have a link to the tutorial I used. Super easy. I did the same thing on the sleeves. I would have done that on the neck if I'd found that then. I did a sewn bind off on the neck, which worked out fine, and it looks really pretty. So this is another actual place where I varied from the pattern. The pattern had you do a 2x2 rib at the neck, and I knew I was planning to do a sewn bind off because I wanted to have a nice strong bind off at the neck because it's a single ply and I wanted to give it a little bit more durability, and the sewn one is supposed to be pretty strong. So it's a lot easier with 1x1. So I did a 1x1 rib, which gets stretched out, and then a sewn bind off, which is nice, and it came out nice. I'm just not that big of a fan of sewing. And it took a long time, like it took longer than the knitted bind off per stitch, because there's much fewer stitches here. And I don't know, I may have done it too tightly also. Like it's not tight when I put it on, which is nice, but I don't know that it looks as nice. Although I don't know that it doesn't. You can kind of compare. So this, you can definitely tell it looks more like a bind off. Like you can see the bound off row squared across, and here the knitting. It looks like it folds back on itself, which is pretty cool. I like that effect. If it didn't take so long, I would be more about it. And I just want things to be done. So I was glad that I redid the bind off. And then I did the sleeve stitches. I just did 10 rows of stockinette in the Wool and Vine yarns, and then seven rows of 2x2 ribbing, where I faded in the Moonstone Dye Works, which would be the next color because that's about where it would have faded to, and then I bound off in the Moonstone Dye Works. I should take a close-up picture of this. I don't know if these colors are coming out. A little bit. But it looks really pretty. I really like how it, and then it has the Moonstone Dye Works right at the edge. So I'm super happy that I have not blocked it yet. That's the only thing I need to do. I haven't wanted to stop wearing it. I might wear it tomorrow and then block it, or I might block it tonight. I haven't decided. I'm gonna look at it and see if it's supposed to be cooler tomorrow, and if it's supposed to be cooler, I might wear it tomorrow and then block it. But it's so soft. There's the singles are really soft, and then the cashmere is really soft. It's kind of nice. The singles are almost as soft as the cashmere. And then this is sparkle sock. I don't know if I mentioned that the Moonstone Dye Works is on a sparkle base. So I don't know. It's probably not gonna pick up on camera, probably. Sadly. Shoot. It's really pretty. It's a very pretty sparkle. It's a very subtle sparkle. But you can see it in person, and I really like it. And then it goes down into the Knox yarns, which is, I think, probably a 75-25. I could look this up. It's in my Ravelry project. Or actually, I could just look right here because I have it. Yeah. Oh, her Mars sock. It's in her Mars sock base, which is a 75-25. So it's not rough at all. This is like the sturdiest, I would say, of the yarns. This is also a 75-25, but it's a little bit smoother. But it's around my waist, so it doesn't bother me at all. So the parts that I will really come in contact with, I did in cashmere, which is super nice. I love this. I love it so much. So yeah, and it knit up shockingly fast. Like, I did not expect this to go this fast. I think I kind of couldn't stop working on it. You don't ever get bored with it because you're switching colors so often that you just want to get to the next color, and it's pretty fast to get to the next color, and then you're doing the fading, so you don't want to stop then. So it took me a little bit over 3 weeks, and the only reason it took me that long is because I redid a couple things. I redid when I messed up the increases, and then the ribbing at the end, and it was over Memorial Day weekend, and I didn't get a chance to knit on it hardly at all over that weekend because we were just really busy. We went out, had spent a lot of time with friends, and we're very busy with the kids, so I really didn't do much knitting on it over then. So I think I could have done it in 2.5 weeks, without the sleeves, with the short sleeves. So, probably maybe a month to a sweater. That's not bad at all for a fingering weight sweater, which I love. So I have heavier weight sweaters that I've knitted, which are really nice, and they're nice and cozy and warm. And this might not be warm enough in the middle of winter by itself. I mean, you could always layer it. But it's really nice. It's so nice and light. It wears so well. Like, I love wearing it. You don't feel weighed down by it. And it's nice and light. So this is my favorite thing I have made in a long time. Andrea Mowry, beautiful patterns, beautiful designer. All of her patterns are amazing. I'm going to make the pint size for my daughter. If you see my project page or my Instagram, she's next to me, looking very happy, and she would really, really like one. Probably the same color. I think she would love to match me. So I would probably knit her the same color pattern. I might wait till the fall, and then do it in a size bigger than she is so that she can get a lot of wear out of it. We'll look so cute together. Cannot wait. And then I want to knit myself like 8 of them. Like, I keep coming up with different color patterns. I want to do a really deep, like, jewel purple that fades to a deep green. And I could even do them all in one color, like any of these colors. I have my colorway, the Sun on New Spruce, which is this deep olivey, turquoisey green, which looks fantastic. I think it looks fantastic just against everyone's skin tones. It looks fantastic with mine, which is kind of olivey, and with my husband, who's much more pale. I think an entire sweater made out of that colorway would be gorgeous. I want to knit my son one. I've been trying to think of different colorways for him. I might go blue to gray, or blue to green, or gray to blue. I can't even decide what color to do because I love all of the colors. And then want to knit my husband one, and I kind of want to knit my husband a green to green to black even. I think it would look fantastic on him. It would look amazing on him. Although I don't know if I want to knit with black yarn. Although if I got some Woolen Vine Grim. Too many ideas. This pattern is ridiculously, like, I cannot even pick. So super happy with this. So this is my FO. I have an FO. And it's pretty much what I've been doing. So I do have one work in progress to show you, which I will show you momentarily. But first, I'm drinking in my favorite mug. This is my favorite constellation, Orion. My sister got me this mug for Christmas from, I'll put the mug designer down here because she's on Etsy. She's really nice. She's actually in Oregon, and if you live close enough, you can go pick up from her instead of having to pay shipping, which is nice because the mugs are kind of heavy. And what I am drinking is also from my sister. I am drinking Plum Deluxe tea in their House Blend Black tea. She got me a subscription for my birthday. And I had actually ordered this before because I wanted to try some out, and it's so good. It's so much better than bag tea. Like, just, it's so flavorful and fresh, and their flavor blends are amazing. I ordered some more Hammock Blend orange black tea to make iced tea with because I made a cup of iced tea cold brewed. So good. The kids, I didn't put any sugar or anything in it, and the kids both loved it. They drink my tea all the time. I reuse. I use a metal little tea, it looks like a spoon that clips. I tried the tea balls and it leaked tea everywhere, so I have a metal spoon one that clips together, so I use that to steep the tea in, and I can reuse it. And then the second, I haven't done 3, but you probably could, because you still get a lot of flavor if you let it steep a little bit longer. The second one is not caffeinated, so I let the kids drink that if they want to, which they do. Because they love my tea. I make them decaf tea or herbal teas whenever they want something nice to drink, because you don't have to add a lot of sugar. A lot of them are really a lot of sweet, and sometimes I'll add a little bit of honey, but it doesn't always even need it. So that's what I'm drinking. So if you've watched the former podcast, you've seen these socks before. I have kind of changed what I've been doing with them, so I'm going to show them briefly again. It's June, and it seems like a nice month in rainbows. So this is the first one. The first rainbow sock I had. This is my hand-dyed yarn in a self-striping colorway that I was experimenting with, which I'm gonna try to get back to this week. I wanna dye up some more self-striping because it's super fun. I've been thinking about different colorways. I might do the rainbow one again, or I might do like a fade, or I might do other stripes. But the way I do it, the stripes kind of blend into each other. I say that, and then there's like they totally don't blend right there. But overall, like this one, they kind of blend into each other, which I really like. And then it has kind of, so the white was not especially on purpose, but I kind of like how it came out, how it makes it kind of look like faded and rusticy. So I can keep it if I want to, or I can probably get rid of it. I'm not sure which way I want to do it yet. But so when I knitted the sock, I knitted it on a smaller needle than usual, and 60 stitches, and it's a little bit small for me. So she doesn't watch this podcast, but I think I'm going to make these socks for my sister. Her birthday is in July, so I think I'm gonna shorten it because her foot is smaller than mine, and make her socks. So I cast on the second one. So I recast on the second one. I had cast it on before at 68 stitches, so I took that out and cast it on again at 60, so it will match the first one. In stitch count, not obviously in colorway, which, thinking about it now that I've already cast it on, if I rip this back, I'd have to rip it back kind of far because of the way the stripes go. I need to ask her. I'm not sure if it will bother her if the socks don't match their stripes. And this is about down there, so I might do some yarn, actually. I might rip this out again and try to manage it so that the stripes match. I should have enough. This is a 50-gram skein that I had dyed up, and these are fairly short socks, especially if I rip this back. And then I did the heels and toes in Night is Falling, which does not show up on camera. I think I finally have some better pictures of it. But it's just a very deep plummy purple, and deep, not navy blue, but deep blue. I don't know what to call it. Like a lot like this color, which I guess that would be navy. It just looks brighter than navy, but I don't know. You know. sorry, yarn, that's a occupational hazard of dyeing yarn, is you can get lost in trying to describe colors and be like, that's lavender, but it's kind of violet-y, but it's got a little bit of I don't know, I ran out of synonyms for purple yarn, but yeah, so I might try to do them that they match. It might bother her, if they don't match exactly, so I might make them so that they do match, and then give them to her for birthday in July. Along with, I will insert a picture here because it is the cutest thing ever. She doesn't watch this podcast. I saw this pin on Etsy, on Instagram, yesterday, and I went over to Etsy immediately and ordered it, and a few friends. And then the Etsy seller had a coupon for free shipping if you bought 3 pins, which I was doing. So I tried it and it didn't work. So I messaged her and was like, your coupon's not working and I think it should be. Can you, is that everything okay? And she messaged me back and she was super nice. And she fixed it for me, and she lives also in Washington, so she was like, anything for someone local. So she was super, super nice. The Clever Clove is her shop. Highly recommend it. She was very nice to work with. Now that I am on Etsy and people message me, I do not hesitate at all to message any Etsy sellers, because I don't mind at all when people message me. I would love to answer their questions if they have any questions, if they want any additional pictures. Someone messaged me yesterday asking to see pictures of some colorways knitted up, which I actually had, that was also nice, because it was part of my Genesis wrap. I had taken pictures. So yeah, she was super nice. I really liked working with her, or I really liked that she answered me so quickly and was so helpful, and it was very nice. So yes, so that's my only other whip, and I'm probably actually gonna tear it out, but so before I do shop update, I have an announcement to make. I am doing a giveaway tomorrow for my birthday. You have probably, if you follow me on Instagram, I did a spoiler on Monday, like a little sneak peek, not a spoiler, for what I'm going to be giving away. I am super excited. I've been planning this for a long time because I actually had bags custom made to match one of my skeins of one of my colorways, and I dyed up the colorway, and then I picked out a stitch marker, or a progress keeper, which took me forever to figure out which one I want. So I hope you all like it, and I hope whoever wins it is very excited and likes it as much as I do. So these are the bags. I have 2 made that match. One of them is going to be mine, and one of them will go to some lucky person. It has little tiny strawberries and daisies on it for June, and daisies inside. They look like green polka dots, but they're daisies. And then this little flower progress keeper on this nice little ring, and it has a little tab that says made with love. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, there we go. Made with love. These bags, I had them made by Yarn Magpie. She's an English bag maker. I looked around a lot for the style of bag I wanted, with a nice print that I thought would go with the yarn, which I will show you shortly. And she had this fabric, and I actually messaged her because I wanted a contrasting liner with the daisies, and she was so nice to work with. She was super nice, and then she sent me a couple of little extras things. Very fast shipping. She made them really fast. She made them just perfectly. So I'm so happy with them. So I'm very excited to use mine. I'm gonna put their socks in it. So this is the bag for the giveaway, and then this is the yarn. This is June Bearing Strawberry. Yeah, that's actually a good. Yeah, this camera picks up pinks very well. And you will also be getting a little cupcake progress keeper. These are made by me, because I couldn't find what I wanted, so I made it to celebrate my birthday. So yes, so the giveaway will be on Instagram tomorrow. I will put up a picture. It will be a standard Instagram giveaway where you follow me, like the picture, and then tag people in the comments. I will probably do 1 tag per line, and you can tag as many people as you want. And you can win this, and tomorrow's my birthday, so I'm going to open it tomorrow, and then I will announce the winners on Monday. I will probably close it Sunday night, and announce the winner on Monday. So if you're watching this and you win, congratulations! I'm super excited for you because I really like all of these, and hopefully you will like it as well. Hopefully it will be a nice summery set. Oscar coming up to say hello. This is our big boy Oscar, who came along to say hello, much as he actually doesn't like being picked up that much. I pick him up anyway. But he's not super thrilled about it. He's a lap cat. He likes to snuggle up on your lap, but he doesn't actually like to be. He thinks it's weird if you pick him up. He's like, why are you doing that? That's weird. We got him when he was 9 years old, and his former owners, I think, just never picked him up, so he's not used to it. So I pick him up and snuggle it, and he thinks it's weird, but he tolerates it. He's not super thrilled about having a kitten best friend now, but he'll deal. So we'll move on from the giveaway to yarn acquisitions that I have gotten. Nomadic Yarns had a ready to ship update, which was super cool, and I got a skein that I've been eyeing forever on her shop. So I didn't realize at the time that it was sport weight, and you could have the option of it being in that hand wound ball, which is super cute, or in a skein. And I didn't really understand, obviously she already has, since it was ready to ship. Sorry, I forgot to stop doing that. I didn't realize at the time that she probably already had it wound as a ball, so I felt bad making her do the extra work, so I chose that as a skein, and now I kind of wish I had it as a ball just because they're cute. So I got her self-striping yarn. I keep saying I'm not that big into Harry Potter, and then I keep buying Harry Potter yarn, but I got her Neville colorway! I love it! It's these like tealy blues and deep, like lighter cyany blues and greens and silver and brown, and I just realized there's a ton of Harry Potter knit-alongs going along, and I keep thinking, I don't have anything to do in a Harry Potter knit-along. I probably can't join any of those, and I'm like, I just finished a sweater using Harry Potter yarn, and now I have self-striping yarn in a Harry Potter colorway. Didn't I buy 2 Harry Potter yarns? Yeah, I have the one from England. I still haven't gotten it yet, just because shipping takes a long time. Hopefully, yeah, it's just because the shipping takes a long time. I hope my yarn didn't get lost. The Fleur de la Cour colorway, that I think I had just ordered it when I last podcasted, so it shouldn't be too long. But I could totally just realized I totally have Harry Potter yarn that I could enter. But anyway. Okay, so Neville colorway. It's on sport weight, so I have to figure out how to knit sport weight socks, which I think you do the same, just in a larger needle and fewer stitches. This doesn't have a suggested needle size, so I'll just look that up. But I love it. I love it. I love it. I love these colors. I think they will go really well. Neville is my favorite character, as well as Luna. They are my 2 favorite characters. He's just so awesome, and he wore a lovely sweater in the last movie, and that's all I could stare at the entire time that he was on screen was his lovely sweater. So I'm going to have a very brief shop update just to show off a new colorway that I came up with. If you're not interested to see the new colorway, thank you very much for stopping by and watching my podcast. If you liked it, please subscribe and like the video, and follow me on Instagram, where I post pictures of various yarny things and random cats, pretty much. So yarn and cats, that's what I post. If you're interested, follow me. And join the Ravelry group. I have a multicolor cal going along, which I almost forgot about, which no one has posted yet, so the odds are very high. So if you are knitting a multicolor project, please go over to the Ravelry group and post pictures, and you will be eligible for some prizes. I don't really care when you started it. I announced the knit along a couple weeks ago. If you had a whip that was multicolored, or a yarn that's multicolored, or you're doing 2-color brioche, or a variegated yarn, knit, crochet, so I'm very open. I just wanted to have a knit along as I was doing my So Faded sweater, because I was enjoying having all the colors together so much. But I have 1 new colorway in the shop this week, and hopefully some more by the end of the week if I get around to playing with the self-striping yarn again. This is another colorway that I've had in my head for months, and I finally got around to actually dyeing it up, and it is called Rainbows Are Falling on My Head. Bum, bum, bum. It makes me very, very happy. So the base is kind of a deep blue, kind of a light deep blue. I don't know how to describe colors. Like, I can see them, and I study watercolor techniques, and that's how I kind of get ideas for how to dye yarn, because watercolor and yarn are the dyeing is actually pretty similar. So it's a deep blue, but it's very dilute, so it's a light deep blue. And then gray swirled together for the sky and the clouds, and then so I'll show you the skein, and then I'll unskein it so you can see it a little bit better. Rainbow, I started off with speckles, and then I kind of hand painted them to smear them together and blend the colors in 2 spots to form rainbows for June, because June is Rainbow Month. And they combined beautifully. I think I really like this. And the way this is dyed, if you knit this in a sock, you'll get the rainbow section swirling around. I think it would work in a hat too. I'm not quite sure. It would depend on the gauge, exactly how it would swirl. But you'll have sections of rainbows on this stormy gray background. So I love this yarn. I think this came out really well. I'm very happy with it. It got kind of, it's kind of like a rainbow through a prism because it kind of got smeared out, and I don't know. I love the way yarn takes up dye. It's so interesting. I have the two rainbows close together, so you would get kind of a double spiral, I think. I might need to knit up another skein of this one. Or I might need to do a chest knit of this one since I'm done my sweater now. It is extremely difficult to skein in such a way that you can see the rainbow. I skeined it probably 47 times. Actually, that's not too bad. Before figuring out how to get it so that you could see most of the rainbow. Skeining yarn is like an entirely different skill set than dyeing yarn or knitting with yarn, or figuring out how dyed yarn will look when it's knit up. It's like it can be kind of difficult. Like there are skeins that I skein up again and again and again and again, trying to show off, like the, ooh, that's pretty. Trying to show off so that the skein looks like what the yarn looks like when you unwind it, because I don't know if this has ever happened to you, where you see something in a skein and it's really, really pretty, and then you unwind it and you're like, oh, the color that I thought was like dominant is really only a little bit, and there's this other color that I barely even saw that's really most of what it looks like when it's knitted up. That's like the base color. Sometimes it's really hard to tell. So I always try to skein it up so that you can see, so that it looks like what it looks like. And it's kind of tricky sometimes. So some of the yarn dyers that you see that skein up their yarns just beautifully, and they all look identical, and all have the same color in the same spots. That's a skill. Like, props to them. Alright, and the other thing I have is a non-yarn acquisition, which I probably could have done before, but so I ordered for Father's Day. My husband wanted some things from the BioWare store because he plays Mass Effect, and he played the first Mass Effects. So he wanted it. So I'm not going to say what it is, just in case he watches. I don't think he's going to watch this, but just in case, I will show you after Father's Day. So I ordered him some things from the BioWare store, and then they had some other stuff on sale, and then it was like $10 away from free shipping, and shipping was like $10. So I was like, I should just buy another item instead of paying for shipping. That's foolish. So I got some presents too. So I didn't play Mass Effect. I watched him play Mass Effect, but I played Dragon Age. So I got a Witch of the Wilds t-shirt, which I need to try it on. Okay, I think it should fit. It's really, really soft, and it has Morrigan on it if you're familiar with the game at all. She is a witch of the wilds. And I also got a Ferelden from Inquisition, because I played Inquisition. I've played all three Dragon Age games, but the second one I only played a little bit. I wasn't really that into it. I played most of Origins and most of Inquisition. So this is an Inquisition hoodie. This is a man's hoodie, but I got it extra big so it should fit, with the Ferelden crest on the back. Because from Origins, I always felt most at home in Ferelden. Because that was the first one that I played, and it's the coolest. And I still feel like a warden, even though I was an Inquisitor, and that's actually where the Dawn Will Come, where that colorway name comes from. In case you were wondering if that's what that was, it is. Alright, so just a little bit from Lather. I have been watching the Naughty Nitwits podcast. It is so funny. It is my favorite new podcast. They are hilarious. It's not new. It's new to me. They are so funny. They crack me up. Like, I'm laughing watching their podcast. They're two, they're mothers. They're a little bit older than I am because their kids are graduating high school, but they're just so relatable to me, and they're so, like, a lot of the podcasters, just everything they do is so perfect, and everything about them is perfect, and then you watch these and they're totally like human people, so it's fun. And they're like, I don't know, just throw a picture up there, this colorway isn't coming up. So they're super fun to watch. I have also been watching The Anxious Knitter is awesome. Squirrel Pie Productions, one of my favorites. Vine every time she comes out. The Yarn Hoarder has had a couple updates recently, which is really nice. She had kind of a break after her dog very sadly passed away. So I'm really glad that she's starting to feel a little bit better there. She said that she got a new one because she was not ready for one, but her daughter told her that their dog that passed away, Kevin, would not want another dog to be in the shelter without a home. And my husband was watching with me, and I just looked at him and we're like, Yes. So I completely understand why she did that. And so very good podcast. She's really nice. Hello, Oscar. Hello, man. He's our old man cat. He's about 11 now. So he spends a lot of time snuggling. He only really snuggles with me if my husband's around. His former owners were, I think he had 2 former owners, and they were both men, and so he likes men more than women, which sounds very strange. I know. It's just how he is. And we love him, and he's fantastic with the kids. They lay on top of him, and my son goes, "I'm got cat, I'm got cat," and my son is 1, almost 2, but he loves Oscar, and he lays on top of him and pulls him all around. He has a very thick coat, so it gets everywhere. So not a lot of other news. As I said, my birthday is tomorrow, so I've been buying all of the yarn just because it's my birthday, so I should buy this. And it's my birthday, so I should buy this. And, I'm getting lots of stuff in the mail coming in. That's all I really have. It's finally nice and summery out, so we've been grilling out and spending all of our time outside, which is always nice. Our garden is starting to bloom. We're getting some squash. We have lots of squash flowers, and we have a nice acorn squash growing, and the peas all have peas on them, and a lot of our flowers are kind of starting after their initial blush to drop their flowers and bring in their summer foliage. And our vegetables, the beans are starting to grow up really well too. So I might have more garden updates as the garden goes on. Everything is kind of starting right now, but my husband's doing an amazing job with it. It's difficult to grow. We're both from different states. I'm from New Jersey and he's from Nebraska, and it's really easy to grow vegetables in both of those states. They're both, there's a lot of agriculture actually in both states because of that. Seattle, by which I mean Washington, on the east side of the mountains, there's a lot of agriculture, but we are on the west side, so it's a little bit more tricky here. It's a much different climate than we're used to. So it's taken I say us, and I really mean him. It's taken him a few years to kind of figure out, and it's mostly just starting a lot later than we would have expected. We were used to planting stuff outside in like February and March. Where we come from, you can pretty much start planting stuff outside, and here he had to wait pretty much until April, and even into May, to move a lot of stuff outside. And the tomatoes he didn't put outside until like halfway through May, which is super late. You're already getting tomatoes on your tomato plants in New Jersey by then, I think. But they're doing really well. They're growing really well. The potatoes are growing great. I might insert a picture here of his garden because it's beautiful. He's done a lot with it. He's been building these hugels, which is kind of like with composting, where you put down a big tree and then cover it with smaller branches and then put soil and compost on top, and you can build it up a lot. And our yard, when we moved here, it sloped down a lot, and towards the fence with our neighbors, there was like, it sloped down, there was some trees, and then it just like dropped off, and he's built that all up into garden beds. And then some walls around it, because we don't want dirt up against the fence. So he's put walls around it, but he's built up garden beds like all along the side of the house. Like, he's added so much land. He's made land, which is pretty impressive. Over there. And now we're growing stuff up. Well, thank you so much for checking out my podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening to me chat about yarn and knitting, because I love that anyone listens to me, because I will talk about it no matter if anyone is listening or not, I suppose. But I like it when someone other than Oscar is listening to me. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you make beautiful things. Please like and subscribe, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye. Oh, wait. Sorry, you couldn't see that at all.